Welcome. I'm the DeadwoodJedi, and I have a very fun and special video for you guys today. There's a member of my Discord group who is a real smart dude, and he's been helping out some folks in there, and he came up with an arena calculator. This is something that I've known about. A few people have. I've gotten several people that have volunteered versions of this to me. I haven't had the time or the wherewithal to actually put them on the website. But Wystix, if I'm saying that right, had not only put this and brought it to me, but wrote up a nice full explanation of how it works and put it together on what is it, Alpha Womack Alpha or whatever that is.
Wolfram Alpha.
Wolfram Alpha. And so he put it on Wolfram Alpha, made it very accessible for everybody. And so now I have it hosted on my website. You can see right here where I'm highlighting under guides and resources. We have Arena Calculator right there. So all you have to do is click on that, and it takes you to Don't Cut Me Bro. And this is the write-up from Wystix. So I'm going to go ahead and let's just move myself over really quick. And Wystix, thank you for coming out here, man. Appreciate you being here, and thought maybe you could tell us a little bit about your calculator.
Thanks. So I go by Wystix. I live in Connecticut in the United States. I'm a biochemistry grad student, but enjoy playing Raid in free time that I probably shouldn't have. And I'm one of those people who enjoyed math in high school and middle school and college, and really enjoy taking things that taking concepts from like middle school and high school math and showing that, oh, this is still useful in our day. So that was part of what motivated me together.
I totally hear you on that. I think that was a big motivation for me with my own calculator. It's just I took the math that I learned and still understood and just applied it to whatever I could. It seemed to work out pretty well. But this is really great. I feel like this is going to be really useful for people. Maybe you can take us through it a little bit about what it is, how it works, and how we're going to use it.
Yeah, so I mean, the other reason why I put this calculator together was because of a former clan member of mine who hated Arena, and the thing he hated most was getting cut, where his speed booster would win the race to move first, but then the rest of his team wouldn't go, and he would rage about that, and we'd have at least like one or two posts in our Discord every day about complaining about being cut.
Yep.
So I dove into the math behind how speed works so I could at least try and help him feel a little bit better about being cut, to just show him that, there's just some math behind this. If he gets a chance to the right speed, then he won't be cut at all. And it didn't actually make him feel better about the arena, but at least it made me feel like I tried.
I imagine it seldom does make you feel better. As long as you keep getting cut, it's not fun at all. That's pretty great. Well, that's a good way to do it. Helping people out is always a good motivating factor, I find. So how exactly does this work? Because I think there's lots of us that are in the arena and we go, my Arbiter is going 300 speed, and yet for some reason after she goes, somebody else comes in and messes my day up. Even though she's going ridiculously fast, I'm still getting cut in. How does that work exactly?
Yeah, so basically what it comes down to is that a 30% turn meter boost from Arbiter isn't as much of an advantage as we like to think it is. And that the other opponent's Arbiter, who's moving at their own blazing 300-something speed, although slightly slower than ours,
right,
is going to catch up pretty fast. Mm-hmm. So here with this calculator, I'm just breaking down the math to figure out how long until the opponent's Arbiter catches up.
Okay.
And there are a couple of key equations that go into this. The first is just, figuring out how turn meter works, where you take I'm figuring out what the true speed is, where you're multiplying the aura by the base speed and adding that to your sheet speed.
It's a challenging thing. I see people struggle with that. Even with my calculator, they struggle understanding that concept a lot. But it's a challenging concept to really understand and grasp the idea of true speed. So I'm really glad. This is actually a really good, for those of you that watching. Obviously, this is a really good breakdown of how speed works, how turn meter works. It's I think very easy to understand and very well articulated and laid out here. So even if you don't have any interest in arena, this article is a really good read if you have any interest at all in speed, just understanding the game in general. So I do recommend everybody check it out. Take the time to read it. It looks more complex than I think it is, and it's very enlightening. So sorry about that, Wystix. I cut you off there.
Oh, no worries. So basically, like the main idea behind the calculator is that we take these different equations that go into figuring out like our speed,
Mm-hmm.
and we assume that our opponent's speed booster is moving at the exact same speed minus a tiny fraction as our speed booster.
Yep. It could actually be the exact same speed. I know. I mean, I know what Polarium says. Well, the way Raid 101 says is that even if two champions are moving at the exact same speed, have the exact same turn meter, the attacking champion goes first. And you can actually see this when you face the clan boss. You put a champion at exactly 190 speed, they will go before the clan boss. The Ultimate Nightmare clan boss goes, who also has a speed of 190.
Yep. So that's the assumption that we make. So we assume that our opponent's speed booster is moving at the same speed as our own, and we calculate what is the turn meter at each tick
Mm-hmm.
that we want our champions to move at. And so if you want to sort of scroll down to the calculator itself.
Sure. So I'll just let everybody know we have this embedded here on the website, so you can go ahead, you can click in, you can change any of the speeds that you want, any of the stuff in here. You can actually use it straight off the website. You don't have to go to Wolfram Alpha, but if you'd like to, you can also click right here, and it will open up into a new page so that you can do that on your own as well. So all the options are there for everybody. Okay.
Yeah. So and if we take a look, we're gonna leave the inputs for a second and just
Sure.
look down at the section that says input interpretation.
Got you. Right down here.
So you can see we're calculating in the first equation, we're trying to figure out what x is, where x is the sheet speed of our boostee, the speed that the champion that we want to go second.
Okay.
The second equation is the key equation where we're comparing the turn meter value for our opponent versus our own. So S is the speed of our opponent's speed booster. T is the tick that our speed booster moves on. And then we're adding some extra ticks, which is the value of C, which might be slowed down by a speed debuff, which is the minus 0/100. And then the turn meter value might also be decreased by a turn meter decrease by someone like Lysandra.
That's the minus
which is
zero,
the zero
here.
Mm-hmm. And then we compare our own champ. Y is our boostee's true speed times 0.07. T is the same. It's the tick that our arbiter boosted on, plus C, which is the number of ticks since since arbiter boosted.
Gotcha.
And then we might have a speed buff, and we might have a turn meter increase.
Gotcha.
And so by setting those two things equal to each other, and then solving for first Y, then X, we can figure out down below and get the result for what happens. So if you scroll back up to where...
I'm sorry, this down here, this is the speed we would need to go at.
Yeah, so X is the sheet speed for our boostee. Y is the true speed, so like including the speed aura. And then S is our booster's true speed. And T is the tick that it moves on, that it does its boost.
Understood.
So,
Understood. So, okay. Okay. So this is telling us with because we have our booster is going at 280 speed. That's our lead, the fastest person, right?
yep. So this is
That's our arbiter, our Lysandra, even an apothecary, someone who goes first goes fast and then makes everybody else faster, right?
exactly.
And then
So
yeah.
yeah, so like the default values in this calculator are like representing a golden reaper,
Mm-hmm.
who is trying to boost along a skull crown.
Gotcha.
So the speed aura from the skull crown up top is a 24%.
Uh-huh.
Golden Reaper has a base speed of 111. She moves at a sheet speed in this example of 280. And then our Skull Crown, who in this example we want to go second, has a base speed of 96. We want her to go one tick after our booster, Golden Reaper. And then in this next section, we say, what does our Golden Reaper do? She provides a 30% speed buff and a 20% turn meter boost.
Wow. Wow. That's very complete. That makes a lot of sense. So I'm just gonna rephrase this a little bit and see if I can't understand. This is one of the way I find myself being able to understand things a little better just by kind of re-saying it. But essentially, what we're trying to do, we're trying to find out that speed of the skull crown, and that information's right here. Her base speed, and then the number of ticks after. And since she's going right after Golden Reaper, it's only one tick, right? So
Correct.
that's pretty easy. And then this is obviously Golden Reaper stuff. We have the aura up here, and the aura applies to anybody and can come from anybody, whoever's the lead. So in this case, Skull Crown's the lead, so the 24% aura is great. If this was a Lysandra, though, all of this would be from Lysandra. You'd have her 24% aura speed, her base speed, and her boost speed, her total speed as
Yep.
well. That makes sense. And so this 280, you call it the sheet speed. That's the displayed speed in the game, right? The displayed total
Yeah.
speed.
hmm
Excellent.
Yeah, it turns out that like, for clan boss calculators where you're trying to predict turn order 50 turns out,
Mm-hmm.
knowing the speed down to the exact decimal point is really important.
Yeah.
But for an arena where we're only looking at like what happens during the first few turns, we can actually usually use the sheet speed of our champion without usually running into any problems.
That makes tons of sense. I mean, all the speed sets, lore seal, all the stuff that changes the precise speed of a champion, the true speed. It's all still within 1 point, give or take. So it's not a huge variance anyway. So I mean, yeah, it's not going to be more than like 1.5 points off. So that makes a lot of sense that you can just use the displayed the total speed shown on your champion for that. And then I love how you can put in the buffs, the speed buffs and turn meter boosts right here, including debuff stuff. I think that's really great. And then, so what's this y equals x plus a times 96? What is that exactly?
So this equation, this is trying to calculate the true speed of our boostee. So the y is the true speed, x is the sheet speed of our skull crown,
Right.
and we're adding the aura, which is 24 over 100 from
Times the
down
base
below,
speed.
times the base speed.
So that 96 is the base speed up here. That a is the actually the speed aura. And then the x is going to be the total, what is it, the true speed. That's what we're actually looking for right there.
Yep, that's the sheet speed. So
That's the
you
sheet
see
speed.
there's a in the calculator input section, there's a results thing where it tells you what the variables that are getting put out equal.
That's
And
great.
and so in that section it says x equals the sheet speed of our boostie.
Fantastic. And so this is great. This is really helpful. So take me through how, if I know nothing, if I didn't follow anything we just talked about, I'm a real dumb, just don't get it at all. And I mean, I say dumb, but frankly, that's where I'm at right now. If we just don't understand exactly how this works, what's the simplest way? If I'm just Joe Schmo and I don't understand the speeds and stuff, what's what am I looking for? If I put all this stuff in, I understand how to put that in. Do I just click submit and then down here, what am I looking for? What's my answer? What's the part that's going to help me?
Okay, let's just use the simplest example, and change some values up above. So
Sure.
let's say we have an arbiter, so our speed aura is 30.
Sure. We can do that.
Um, Arbiter has a base speed of 110,
Yep.
and let's say our arbiter moves at 305 as its cheat speed, or
Awesome.
the display speed. And the person we want to go second is Umbral Enchantress, because no one's better than her for locking a team down. So Umbral has a base speed of 98,
Okay.
and we want Umbral to go second, so just one tick after our arbiter.
Excellent.
Okay. And arbiter doesn't provide a speed debuff, so zero for turn meter decrease. She also doesn't provide a speed buff, so 0 for that. And she gives us a 30% turn meter boost. And then we hit submit. So Wolfram Alpha it's going to do its thing. It's going to do its computing. And down here at the bottom, the thing that we look at is X. So we need to get our Umbral Enchantress to a sheet speed of at least 237. So 238 to be safe.
Wow.
And if we do that, Umbral is never going to be cut.
Wow. That's it.
Yep, that's it.
Wow. That's super easy and really helpful. That's crazy. So that's the number that we need to get to. It's 238 really, just to ensure that nobody cuts us when our arbiter's at 305.
Yeah, so that basically means that even if we have the exact same speed as if the opponent's arbiter has the same speed as our own, if we can get our Umbral to 238, she's never going to catch up in that one tick that we have.
Wow. That's great. This is super, I'll be honest, looking at it, I'm like, this is kind of complex. There's a lot of math going on here. I kind of stopped following after algebra in my math class in high school. But that's not hard to do, not hard to use at all. It's very simple, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's like the simplest use case example. The slightly more complex one is, let's say you have a full team that you want to make sure it doesn't get cut.
Okay.
So let's stick with this same example. And let's say the person we want to go third or 2 ticks after our arbiter is a Venus. So we'll change the boosty base speed to 112 for our Venus.
Okay.
And we leave everything else the same and we click submit.
It's so easy though. Just the submit is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So Wolfram Alpha has replaced all of the values in the equation section, and then we get our new result, x equals 243.
But she's got 243. That's way faster.
Yes. And so this is one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, is that if you're only providing a one-time 30% turn meter boost, and you give the opponent's arbiter extra ticks to try and catch up,
they will.
They will. And so you need increasingly fast speeds to prevent your entire team from not being cut.
Okay.
So let's take this one more step.
Sure.
Let's say our last champion that we want to go is a Ray, who has a base speed of, I think, 100.
Okay.
And we'll change the boosty tick value to 3.
Yep.
And hit submit. So this would be our 4th champion in our Arbiter, Umbral, Venus, Ray comp.
Right.
Which is actually what I run in the arena. So 254.
Yikes.
And trying to build a nuker at 254 speed is pretty hard. Impossible. Yeah. That's really hard. So that's why having Umbral Enchantress as your second champion is such a good move,
because she locks the other team down and gives you the opportunity to take your turn after they go.
Yep, exactly.
So here's a question, because I'm having this question in my own head, so I'm sure people are going to be asking it. If 254 speed, if I'm determined to have all 4 of my champions go before the enemy, if 254 speed, or 255 really, is what I need my Ray to be at to go 4th, go last in my turns, Does that mean that my other champions can be at those previous speeds?
Nope, they need to be faster than that 255.
Got you. Got you. So this then becomes the minimum speed for all of my champions, not just my
Yeah,
fourth champion.
and it's actually the true speed that matters. So if you look at the Y value in the result section,
Uh-huh.
so that gives you the true speed for array that has a sheet speed of 254. So you
So,
need to make sure the true speed of your Venus and your Umbral Enchantress are higher than that
of
285.
course. And the reason why that's so important to keep in mind is that all of these speeds are being modified by that speed aura and their
Yep.
base speeds, right?
Yeah, and our Venus, who we want to go third, has a blisteringly fast base speed of 112. So
Mm-hmm.
her sheet speed might not need to be quite as high as it otherwise would be.
Right, right.
So
So,
basically, if you want your entire team not to be cut, you calculate out what is the speed going to be of your last champ that you don't want to be cut, and then make sure that the other two people are even faster than that.
that's really good point. So the great thing about this, if you need to, so that's really simple. And if people need to figure out what the calculated speed is, you can go to the calculator that we have, and it will go ahead and if we go to the calculator really quick. I can show you guys to figure out your true speed. You can put in the base speed of your champion, so like 112 for Venus, for example. If you have any speed sets, you'd put those in. The speed aura you can put in right here, and then you put in the total or the sheet speed, the display speed, whatever that happens to be. So a 254, like we'd have for Ray, actually comes out to 287.60 for Venus, and I believe for Ray it was like 286. So that's a really good calculation type of thing, and great way to do that. That's really smart. I like that a lot. This is going to be really helpful. I just had somebody in like Manible's arena group text me asking me if there was a calculator out there that I had available. So the timing of this couldn't be more perfect. This
Yep.
this is really fantastic, and you go through all these steps in this description here in this thing.
I do. Yeah, and I think the other thing that's worth like talking about as well is like our example of doing like a multiple booster or debooster.
Yeah, I saw that
Uh,
up there.
so this is like the I guess the advanced use case scenario, because with arena, seeing how high your speeds need to be to get your whole team not to be cut off of a single arbiter. A lot of people are running arbiter into Lysandra.
Uh-huh.
So let's figure out how we can use the calculator for that
Okay.
as our next example.
That sounds great.
So,
I actually run an arbiter and a Siphi right now.
all right.
So like that's perfect. Like that we can use Lysandra too. I think that's a great idea.
Let's go ahead and use your arbiter into Siphi. Let's figure it out for your arena comp.
Ooh, oh, I like this. All right. This is good, guys. I'm getting some fresh tips right now. I like it. Well, I can tell you my Siphi is my fastest champion at 314 actually. So I'm pretty sure she gives you a 15% turn meter boost and a 30% speed buff.
Mm-hmm.
And so my second champion, let's do this. Oh, this got way more exciting. Now I get to know. So my next champion has to be at least 258 speed, or 287, 288 as a sheet speed to go second.
Yep.
And then what would I do to figure out, assuming that's my second champion is Arbiter, which it is, what would I do for my second to incorporate her boost that comes next?
One thing, so double check. So for boosty tick after booster, you want to change that from 3 to 1. So currently, I think you have 3 there.
Oh yeah,
you want
right.
to change that to 1 because
You're right.
your arbiter goes next.
I got too excited. I'm sorry, guys. All right, here we go. So 263 is what I need.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So the next champ after arbiter is who?
After Siphi is Arbiter, actually.
Okay, so yeah, and after arbiter, who's next after that?
I think Angar.
Okay, so Angar's base speed
I don't know it. I'm sorry. You were asking me. Angar's base speed, I'm not sure what it is.
Here, I can look it up quick. So Engar's base speed is 98.
There we go.
So we'll enter that, and we're going to switch it to 2 ticks.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And now, because Arbiter also provided a turn meter boost, we're going to change the turn meter boost from 15 to 45. So 15 from Siphi, and then 30 from Arbiter. And
okay, so we just add it together. We don't have to do anything else with it. We just add it in.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, great. And submit?
Yep.
So much easier than I had thought it would be.
Okay, so that means our Angar, if we want to make sure that he doesn't get cut, needs to be moving at 205, 206.
206 speed. Wow, that's reasonable. I can do that.
Yep. And part of that, and this is taking into account both 2 ticks at the increased speed buff that Siphi gave, and the double turn meter boost that Unger has gotten.
Right, right. That's true. Well, that's fascinating. That's really fascinating. Huh.
Yep. So now, let's say things were flipped around, though. Let's pretend your Arbiter goes first at 314. And you want your Siphi to go second. Okay. So we'll go Siphi 114, 1. She hasn't gotten a speed buff yet, so we're going to do 0 for the speed buff, 30 turn meter boost. Hit enter.
Great.
And then we can...
I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, and so then we can see that our Siphi would need to move at 241. Now, the slightly more complicated part now comes if we want to figure out what Angar's speed needs to be after that. Because for Angar, he has gotten... so if we change the boosty base speed back to Angar's 98,
yep.
Tick to 2, Angar has had 1 tick at a 0% speed buff, and 1 tick at a 30% speed buff from Siphi. So that means his effective speed buff over those 2 ticks is just 15%.
So we just take that 30% speed buff and divide it by the 2 ticks.
Yep. So it's 0% plus 30% divided by 2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then we hit submit.
So that is the one bit of math that we would need to do.
Yeah, so you need to figure out just, and this is also for any speed debuffs that you apply.
Mm-hmm.
You figure out what is the average speed debuff or buff that has been active over the ticks that you've had.
Got you.
And if we look at the result and scroll down, we can see by having the speed buff active for 1 turn less, by having Arbiter go first, we now have to have Angar go at 215 instead of, I think, 205 or so.
Basically another 10 speed or so. Wow, that's interesting. That's the power of the speed buff.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's very cool to know. I didn't realize that. That's very cool. So what if I wanted to use, say, like a Lysandra or somebody that actually does, like, decreases the enemy speed instead of Siphi?
Okay. So let's say we've got Arbiter moving first.
Sure.
We'll leave it at 314. And Lysandra going second. So the boosty base speed is going to be 110. Boosty tick is going to be 1 because we want to see what our Lysandra goes. So our Lysandra needs to have...
This should be the same as the speed with Siphi, basically, or pretty close to it. 242.
Yep.
242. It's just the base speed's difference. The only change, so that's gonna affect it, but not too bad.
But now let's say we want our Angar to go second.
Right.
We'll change boost speed to 98. We're going on the second tick. Now we put turn meter decrease as 30 from Lysandra.
Yeah.
And the effective speed is going to be 15 because we had our Arbiter go first, and we had 1 tick at 0, 1 tick at 30, averages to 15.
Another 30% speed buff that we have to divide by the number of ticks. So 30 divided by 2 gets you the 15% there. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. and no speed debuff, so we hit submit.
Well, you can really put the turn meter percentage decrease. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so we can see Alessandra would let us move our Angar at 185.
Wow. Wow. Now, I noticed that like this is when there's fractions here, you kind of say the 185. Isn't 186? Wouldn't that be the
Oh yeah, 186 would be
you?
the proper one.
So just so I'm sure, like I'm clear about this, is do unless it's a whole number like this right here, unless it's just a straight whole number, if there's any decimal points and you want to be absolutely sure you can't get cut, do you have to round it up every time?
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
I mean, this is going to give you the true speed value.
Right.
So you need to make sure your true speed, your actual calculated sheet speed needs to be higher than that.
Gotcha.
So because of the inaccuracies and rounding errors of like how RAID totals speeds,
You probably want to go at least 1 point higher than what that actually even says, or calculate exactly what you have first, and then you should know.
Mm-hmm.
That makes lots of sense. Oh, that's very cool. This is a great thing to be able to increase the turn meter decrease percentage and speed buff. That's really effective. I mean, assuming you have to have the accuracy to make it land and make it work.
Exactly.
But if you do, that's great. That's really huge. Huh.
Yeah, and so this just sort of highlights the power of having like multiple speed buffers or debuffers,
Right.
Boosters or deboosters, and getting like two of those into your comp really decreases the speed requirements for your nuker or your disabler to not be cut.
Very cool. Very cool. What a great invention. Thank you for doing this. This is really huge, actually. Is there anything that like you've like learned like from Arena as a result of this? Like any like, do you have any great wisdom insight that you can drop on us and leave us with?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main takeaway that I got from working on this project is like the speed requirements to not be cut off of a single arbiter boost are very, very high. And so that's why I think probably, in my opinion, the two strongest like types of speed comps that you can have for the arena is going to be a single booster into a very fast disabler like Umbral Enchantress, or a double booster scenario, because that's the only way that you're going to completely shut out your opponent from their chances to take a turn.
That makes a lot of sense. I can see that. I think that's actually really good wisdom. There's a lot of people out there that don't. I get a lot of people ask me like, how do I build my arena team, and arena's not my strongest suit, but I do okay in there. And I think a lot of people don't realize that you need. It's not just about the one fast champion, because I cut people all the time. It's not just about the one fast champion. You gotta have your second guy go in there too and knock them down before they actually come at you, and that's really the key to it. So that's really good advice right there. Really good advice. This is phenomenal. Thank you for letting me put this on the website. Thank you for writing this wonderful article. Everybody, you definitely should check this out. This is going to help you in Arena, and clearly Arena is harder now than it's ever been. So you need every edge you can get. This is going to give you one of them. Definitely want to check this out. You should be testing your champions, seeing how fast or how slow you can make them and still have them go and not get cut. This is just a wonderful gift to the community. And guys, if you make sure to show some appreciation to Wystix in the comments down below. Just give him a shout out. If you found this helpful, just let him know. When you come to the Discord, give him a shout out and let him know that too. We're gonna blow up your your messages in Discord, Wystix. You're gonna be inundated with people asking for advice now.
Oh no! What have I done?
You tongue in cheek now. You just wait, my friend. Thank you though so much for doing this, and thank you again for agreeing to talk about it and walk us through it. I'm pretty capable when it comes to this stuff, but honestly, this is not something I focused on, and I really needed your expertise, and I know everybody watching really appreciated it too.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Deadwood.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. Please subscribe down below. It really helps. And click that notification bell so you know when the next video is out. Love you guys. Can't wait till the next time. Till next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.